Welcome to another edition of the Dementia Care Partner Talk Show. Now, here's dementia care expert Teepa Snow and your host, Greg Phelps.
Hello and welcome to the Dementia Care Partners podcast. I'm your host, Greg Phelps, and joining me once again is dementia care expert Teepa Snow. And Teepa recently read an article, How to Reduce Seniors' Agitation, or words to that effect. Is that really a thing or just an attention-grabbing headline? Because other headlines recently explored depression among seniors and others are talking about medications. And is there a message anywhere in there that we should pay attention to, or are we just writing for the sake of writing and not moving the ball towards the goal line?
Well, we certainly know that when someone says the word agitation, everyone around them goes, "Uh-oh." I mean, we know that that'll catch your eye. We know, just like if I said, um, "Oh, somebody hit someone," you would want to read to see what had happened next. So it's an eye catcher. I mean, so people work hard to make sure their headlines do something. And the do something is get you to click. I mean, get you to look, get you to want to do that. So, one of the tricky parts about using catchwords is they catch your eye. And so, agitation, aggressive, um, lonely, depressed, anxious, scared, people are terrified. Well, everybody wants to know what that is. And the bigger the word, the more intense the word. They want a certain level of intensity in the visual regard so that it catches your brain, catches your eye, and makes you look further. And we know that's what headlines are designed to do. So let's keep that in mind because what I would say is, yeah, noticing someone is in distress. Someone is stressed to a point where it's distress. So distress means I don't know what to do. And if I can't figure out what to do, what might you notice about me then, Greg? What might be some indicators that you might pick up on visually that catch your eye? What would be things either visually or maybe even in my vocalizations or maybe in I don't know, other things? What could you pick up on that signal? Wow, something's not right with Teepa.
Well, if you couldn't pick up on those visual cues, and even people who are just listening and not necessarily watching the video, if you can't pick up on that, I'm sorry, you're in the wrong business. Find something else to do. And again, you were almost demonstrating a lady that I had seen where she was basically crawling along the wall with her back because she was trying to protect herself. We've all seen those things. And it just suddenly hit me as we're talking. How many times do we do that? We are the catalyst for the agitation because we don't know what we're doing. I'm reaching in, trying to feed you. Come with me. I'm going to change you and grab your hand. Yeah. I hadn't realized till then that we end up shooting ourselves in the foot. We're sort of those cartoons where they're shooting at the person's foot. There.
Yeah. I mean, and I think if you don't realize you have a weapon and you're the weapon, then you also can't use yourself therapeutically. And there are ways and things we can readily do that can actually decrease my distress and discover what's triggering all of this dysfunction. But if I'm not picking up on that and instead I do things that make it worse, Greg, what's wrong? What's wrong? Greg, hang on. It's okay. It's okay. Greg, shh, listen. I mean, if you weren't agitated before, I could about guarantee you're ready to climb the wall and whack me, and you're going to move to aggressive. But it's really easy to blame a condition like dementia for that instead of acknowledging, wow, there are a lot of things here that are making it more complicated. The environment we're in, where I'm placing myself in the environment, what came before, what might be going on inside you that you're seeking comfort for, and how I sound, who else is around the place, what your past history has in it that might be aggravating. Um, could it be truly that things outside the person could be modified so there is no medication needed? What we need is a change in us, a change in the place, a change in what's happening. And we need to quit trying to fix the person and be willing to acknowledge, wow, um, it's not just non-pharmacological. I mean, that's sort of my like ick words because it makes it sound like, well, there's a pharmacy and then there's this other stuff. And it's like, well, there is chemicals that happen in the person's brain and in their body. And those chemicals are active regardless. And now let's put some more chemicals in when we don't even know what we're looking at. And it's like, well, let's pause for a minute here and figure out what can we do with the chemicals they already have in there. I mean, do they have any dopamine going? Do they have a lot of, could they have a lot of cortisol or adrenaline flowing? Can we take that down a little bit? And could we add something like epinephrine? I mean, what do we want to do with the chemistry before we just throw more chemicals in the mix? Um, and that when I say we, I mean, obviously there are things we can choose to do, but there's also places we can choose to place ourselves and offerings we can make. Maybe we should start with giving the person something to look at, something to listen to, maybe something to take in or drink that's not laced with anything, just basically something to drink. Because maybe they're thirsty. Maybe their heightened anxiety is due to being worried about where they're going to live, whether their daughter's coming. And that's not going to be fixed with a drug because I still have the concern. I just still don't know the answer.
We've been in a lot of care facilities, at a lot of conventions, et cetera, et cetera. Every once in a while, I'm sure you've met them. There's somebody who seems to have that natural talent. And I don't know whether do we call them empaths or something. They do things that you're talking about instinctively, but they're rare.
They're very rare. And what we don't realize is most people need to be guided to start noticing, guided to pay attention, guided in the response, guided to reflect. I mean, once you do that, people are amazed. They're like, you won't believe this. I mean, the number of people that come up to me and say, you're not going to believe this, but I tried that thing that you were showing us. You know what? It didn't work it right at first because he wasn't really into it right at first. And it's like, okay, but you tried it a couple times. Yeah. And all of a sudden, like he was like fine with me helping. Like it was that hand thing that you talk about. It's like the hand thing. Good to know. Good to know. But it's always so funny to have people come to their aha moment of recognizing, oh, look, I made a difference. And the excitement is for me the drug. That sharing back of I something went well, and it's like, that's exciting. Tell me more about that. That opportunity to share what went well, because I think people anticipate things are gonna go badly. And it's like, let's focus on what might go well if we learned something, maybe. Just a thought.
If people are interested in learning, they can go to an event, they can see you in person. But is there somebody we can talk to if somebody's having a particular problem, or they just want to expand their base of knowledge? Can I pick up the phone, or how do I get in touch?
You can get up with us at info@tipasnow.com. You can get up with us on the 800 number. You can get up by our website. You can go on the website and say, I want more information. Or you can chat. There are numbers of ways you might choose to explore the possibility of a champion course or maybe a consultation, or maybe you just want to watch a video. Whatever it is, we're more than happy to get you started and then see where you want to go after that.
Eva, thank you very much.
You are very welcome, Craig.
You've been listening to the Dementia Care Partners podcast, brought to you by Positive Approach to Care. For more information on today's program or other dementia topics, go to tipasnow.com.